Are we live? Is this happening? I have come back to life on this channel. Welcome to my deck. It's not that sunny, but I'm wearing sunglasses anyway because I need to be able to see the screen for the comments. And when I don't have my sunglasses on, I can't see them at all. Not one tiny little bit. Understand that I am looking at you, but I'm going to put these on anyways. And it's not to look cool, even though, no, I'm just kidding. Welcome back, guys. How's everybody doing? It's been a bit. It's been, what's it? Today's Saturday. So it's been like 2 weeks almost since we've hung out. It's too long. It's been too long. I am set up with Ecamm again because OBS, too many issues. So I'm paying money again for Ecamm. We'll see. I just got it going last night. So we'll see what kind of issues spring up since I haven't taken any time to really, do any research again. I used it for a long time. I know how it goes pretty much. Also couldn't find my wind muff thing for my microphone. So you might hear a little hopefully it doesn't get too distracting for you guys. But we're here to hang out. We're here to have fun. We're here to talk about Vodi Bakum is a Mormon lover. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But kind of. Let's see. We got Carol, who is here. Okay, all right, and we've got. Okay, well let's make it a little bit smaller, and that's actually a pretty good place for that to come out. Carol thinks I'm funny. I don't. Carol needs to watch some stand-up comedy. I'm just saying. Does your boys have your sense of humor? Yes, they do, which some would say isn't great, but it is what it is. And let's see, Sam Rubin. I heard about that. He's an entertainment guy, and he passed away. That's sad. We got Claymore Arm Wrestling hopping in and saying 6.66 followers. Quickly, guys, sub. Yes. Today is the day. I can't hide it anymore. I can't hide this feeling any longer. I guess Satan rules my podcast. Remember, I am a member of the Hellfire Network. So I guess it makes sense. 6.66. We got the sixes, which isn't good. Goes the wind. Laurel is here and says, "Yeah, you just couldn't stay away." That's how sentences work. From us, love it and glad you put your family at top priority. I mean, yes, my family's fine. It's mostly just I got tired of comments, and I got to take these breaks. And I've just found out that's just part of who I am. I gotta take breaks, even from stuff I really like, because I get burnt out otherwise. And so every 3 months, I'm going to take a month off. That's just kind of the rhythm I'm going to choose. And also, it's just, I don't know. I don't want people to win, so I'm going to keep going. But I am determined to keep going, not just obviously for this, for all you guys, we could hang out together and there's important stuff to talk about, but also I ain't letting anybody win. Okay. I know that there are probably some people being like, ha, ha, we got him. Oh, the fat jokes worked. We finally got rid of this guy. I'll be back. Cause you ain't winning, bro. No. But also because there's actual stuff to talk about. And no one else seems like they want to. Even the last 2 weeks, it's interesting. As soon as you're like, I'm going to take a break, then you're just like, I have so many video ideas. And I'll be adding that into what we're doing moving forward through the summer. But also, it's just no one else is making this video. No one's talking about this. There's a huge story here. And because no one else is doing this stuff. But one of you could. I'm just saying, like, some of you guys like have such great thoughts. All you got to do is set up a webcam. Like, set up a webcam, start talking into it. Some of you guys could probably grow your channels a lot better than I could. Aaron says, hey, I'm working today, so I'll be lurking again. Where are you at, Aaron? This someday, probably not anytime real soon because we found more issues with our basement that we got to work on. But Underdog Studio right here. Eventually. Let's see. You got Rosen from the Death. The Liquid Death. I still have not tried Liquid Death. I want to so bad. I can't find it anywhere up here. Heidi is saying hop in the chat because she wants to hop in the chat. And we're going to go. That doesn't work. This button doesn't work. Does it work? I don't see any sound effects playing. What about this one? Just none of them. None of the sound effect buttons are going to work. Okay, we're not doing sound effects today. I don't know why I have my Stream Deck then, but, here we are. Wendy is here. What's up, Wendy? I hope you're doing well. Do you wear your sunglasses at night? I wear my sunglasses. Yeah. Sometimes. I am that guy who's too lazy to take out my sunglasses and put my actual glasses back on, and these are prescription sunglasses. So if I go into a store, I'm going to walk around with sunglasses on, unless it's super dark. Like, I don't know what store I'd be going to, like maybe like time traveling, going to Spencer's back in the day. But, yeah, I wear them all the time. Well, at least during the summer and also in the winter. Everything is so white here. We got white people. We got white everything. It's snow everywhere. And so, yeah, I wear my sunglasses a lot. It's been a roller coaster, says Carol. Oh, no. Yesterday was the 8th anniversary since my mom died. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was my mom's birthday on the 6th. And Mother's Day, it's always a little hard. It's always a little hard going into this little season. I try not to make a big deal of it because, my wife is a mother, and so I want to celebrate her. And also, after the stream, we are running to Wally World and trying to find something. All right. Your boy needs to do some shopping for his wife. It's going to be me and 30 other guys looking at cards. Be like, oh, crap. Why did we wait? Larry is here. What's up, Larry? Good afternoon. First time catching the live stream. Live? What? All right. I got this one is right at the top. All right. Ecamm, I got some issues with your sound effects. That is a built-in sound effect, and that sounded sarcastic as heck, Larry. And I'm sorry. Where's my yes chant? I need to do something that's a little bit better than that. Where is it? We could just throw this one in. Uh-oh. Because for fun. Well, we'll do this.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here, man. Hope I don't scare you off by being just so casual, just hanging out. I have fun with this stuff, okay? This is fun. All right? I miss you guys when I'm not doing stuff. I mean, I'm doing other things. I'm working on my podcast, my movie podcast. It's just about ready. I'm waiting. I spent some moolah for a guy with like a great sounding voice and like sound effects to like do my intro. And I'm waiting for him to get back to me. I'm waiting on that order. But then should be getting out a podcast in like a week and starting that. And I want to do it like legit. It's not live, not like this, but it's gonna be fun. So dealing with 2000s movies is gonna be a good time. I don't know why I went there, but I did. Yep, we got the sixes. We got the sixes. I appreciate that, Carol. I don't know why that went so fast. Z Fever. What up, Dean? Hope your Saturday is going well. It is going well. I've got my son's numbers right in front of me. Like, my kids are inside just hanging out. We're having a chill Saturday. And, anytime we could hang out together, it's a good Saturday. And I'm sitting on my deck of the house that I own, which is freaking fantastic. Last night, we were sitting out here just watching the Northern Lights be awesome. And, I'm not used to that. Like, I'm from Seattle, but, like, we never really got it. Never seen them before until I moved out here. And then I kind of, like, faintly saw it. Not that I was, like, fainting, but it was just, like, not that bright. And so neither am I. But, I was watching this, and I was like, that's so cool. And then last night, it was, like, way more. And I know everyone on the internet is, like, sharing their pictures, and everyone's sick of talking about it. But it is amazing. Like, it's pretty cool. And, like, for us as new homeowners, it's just really cool. Like, we've had decks before. Like, we've always had, like, decent houses. Like, when I was a pastor, had the parsonage going, and that was huge. But then townhouses and stuff. So we've always had, like, decent places to live, and not like we usually have a deck and stuff like that. But it's just different. Like, sitting on the deck that we own, even though we got some holes in this thing I need to fix and some rotten wood, it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy, but we got some work to do on it. But we're sitting here and just, like, hanging out and watching these, lights dancing around in the sky. It's pretty rad. So, it's been a good weekend so far. We pray that it'll continue. Pam says, hi, Dean. Crazy smoky here in Alberta. Good to see you. Don't have it there. It's starting to get over here a little bit. Guys, pray for Fort McMurray. What the heck, man? Like, maybe one of the worst. What is it? It's been like 6 years. I think I saw that somewhere, that it's been 6 years since Fort McMurray basically burnt down, which is a decent sized city here in Canada. And then, like, literally on the anniversary, they're getting evacuated again, like, because of more wildfires. Like, that's just awful. So pray for them. Like, that's, like, traumatic. Like, even if they didn't lose their homes, to be evacuated again, and knowing, like, everyone's got to know somebody who did lose their home. And so even if there isn't, like, any houses burning down there, it's got to be just so traumatic to be like, we're forced out again. So pray for those folks. So yeah, we got some wildfires over in Alberta, and smoke's going all over the place. Why are you a heretic, dog? Says Michael Robinson. No, news to me. News to me. Not news. Everyone calls me. Not everyone. Everyone who doesn't like me calls me one, but they don't have anything to say about it because I'm not one. But it's just, I don't know. I like that you put the W in dog, though. I'm a little older than Sam. Channel 5 was on all day yesterday and 5 hours today. I was going through Dean withdrawal. Is that a thing? Oh, man, you got to see a doctor about that. Z fever, which you also got to see a doctor about Z fever. All right. I'm pretty new to your channel, so I may have missed some things, but I'd really like to hear your thoughts on the Demon Slayers, a.k.a. WWE Christianity. Acknowledge me. Yeah, Demon Slayers, it's money. So much of what's going on in evangelicalism right now is about money, as I talked about a couple weeks ago on Underdog Theology. But the Demon Slayers, they're like, they're taking it up a notch. Like, there's a prosperity gospel, which is obviously so flawed and wrong theologically, morally. Like, it's just kind of morally bankrupt to tell people who are suffering, give me money and God will bless you. Like, that's just so corrupt. But this is right up there with it, because like, they might not be saying, like, give me money, although some probably would. But they're saying, like, hey, support my ministry, be a part of this thing. Every ailment you have, every doubt you have, every mental illness you may have, it's all from Satan. So if you pray harder, you grit and you grind and you give to my ministry, I will give this thing out of you, or get this thing out of you. and it's just so messed up. A lot of them are even just like really bad preachers. At least back in the day, at least in my opinion, some of these guys who were like big, you know, prosperity gospel guys, at least they were like interesting speakers, but a lot of these guys just aren't even that. I don't understand why so many fall into the trap, other than there's a desire in all of us to just be rid of our problems, right? And if you can name that problem a demon and then just have someone else do this work for you of getting rid of that thing, I mean, that sounds pretty great, but it's wrong. And there's nothing in the Bible that talks about illnesses or ailments, ongoing physical problems being associated with the demon, as far as like it is the demon of this, demon of that. Demons are entities and they do get cast out of people, but it's not the same thing. And these people take advantage of that. But yeah, WWE Christianity is a really good way to put it, because it is all showmanship and it's fake. And not that WWE is fake. That's not what I said. I don't want Roman Reigns coming after me. But I'm glad you're checking out the channel, Z Fever. Laurel says, heck yeah, the big Eva peeps you cover are toxic, and my name rhymes with foretell, not that it matters. Oh, Laurel? It's not Laurel? It's Laurel? I will try. I know so many Laurels, though, that that's going to be hard for me. I'm going to try my best, though. Laurel. One time I put gas in my car, 666 gallons. Oh, dang. That's the day you got the demon. Yeah, it's so important to figure out the rhythm needed for staying mentally healthy. Yeah, as far as like taking a break and whatnot. Yeah. And I just, it's not even just this. It's hobbies that I have. Like, I'm aware of the problems of being a creative person. It's not just like ADHD kind of stuff. A lot of people just run to that. But for me, I have this problem where I want to get going on something and then I get distracted with something else and I go full board on that. And it's hard to go full board on so many different things or give it necessarily the attention that it deserves. So right now, like, I'm going full board on our house. We've got a lot of stuff we got to do. Like the inside of our house is starting to get there. We've been doing a lot of, just light fixtures and painting and, taking down old stuff and replacing it and decorating and whatnot. But I mean, when we got our house, it's we got it for cheap. So there's some, like, we got to work hard on this thing. And so I've been going like real full board with that. And so it's hard for me, at least with my personality, to be like full board with that. And then also, full board with this podcast, even the movie thing. I mean, check out my movie channel. I haven't been putting a lot of stuff out there. So it's not just even that. Like, I'm excited about this new podcast I'm going to start, but that's just kind of my personality. So I get, I only have so much time and I only have so much bandwidth. So for, this month, going full board on the house, doing a lot of work and not so much of like the YouTube stuff. But, we'll get back into it and we'll get going. But also, yeah, the negativity, the constant negativity, you guys get it. In the boiler room right now, Jake from State Farm. That's hilarious. No sound effects. Geostorm and Northern Lights. Oh, yep. Laurel says, yeah, but I'm a woman, can't outpace my husband. That's right, you can't. Did you ask him whether he could post this comment as well? So can't do a YouTube channel. Right response ministers and all that crap, Well, at least you're watching the right people. Nah. John Adams is here. And Ecamm won't let me put up. Oh, there it goes. Hey-oh! How's it going? It's going well, my friend. It's going well. Let's see. Laurel, I'm going to try. I'm going to really try. I'm going to say it as many times as I can just to get it put in my head. Quick, give me that book on pedo baptism before Joel Webbin sees me. Haha. Oh, come on. We all know that guy's going to be a pedo baptist in like 5 seconds, right? It's just, he's going to go out to lunch with Dougie, and all of a sudden he's going to have a post about, after years of study, I have switched my position. Guys, you can't find it anywhere, but that guy was Darren Patrick. I've said this before, but like, just even a year ago, he used to have like his old sermons on his Right Response Ministries channel, and I remember checking that out, and I remember being so surprised. One, the voice completely changed. And you can see it sometimes, depending on who he's hanging out with. You'll hear him talk one way with Ruslan, and then on his podcast, he's like sounding like he's Paul Washer all of a sudden. And it's just like, what is going on there? But also, the dude looked like Darren Patrick, was preaching in t-shirts and jeans, and now is like wearing a suit all the time. And like the hair, like styles change. I get that. And especially me, like I haven't always had a big beard. Haven't always been as chill. Used to wear suits, but I was in Fundy World. Okay, I wasn't like at a church plant that I started. So like you have to do certain things to exist in an environment. On the porch. That's right. On the porch, on the deck. Dean on deck. Is that cool or is it just dumb? I don't know. Pam says, I've been tempted to rant about some of Joel Webbin's stuff this week, but I don't have any followers. That's too bad, because I love your tweets. Like, I really do. You and Heidi, I think, are doing great on Twitter, and I hope more people pay attention to what you're saying. Jeremy, on the other hand, no, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you have Heather and your boys. I am too. It would be very sad if I didn't. I'm cleaning the house to top. What? I'm cleaning the house top to bottom. That's the present. What? But you're a man. What? Cleaning? Get your house in order, Jer. What's going on over there? Oh man, you need to like put your foot down. What book has your wife been reading? That's what I need to know. You and 30 other guys looking at the 5 cards left on the racks just saying, what? I missed something. Lawnmower repairs around here. I don't have a lawnmower. I have to buy one. I'm disappointed about it. We got to buy one like ASAP. Or like you can't see it. I hope you can't see it. But the grass is getting really long already. And it sucks because we just last weekend, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago now, we did so much work out here in the yard, just like clearing. It was awful back here. Just like tons of thorn bushes on the side of the house and random like trees growing. Like, so I shouldn't say we. My wife and her parents did most of that. I was doing other things, diabetes related. But yeah, it's so now we got to do the grass because it already looks bad, which sucks because it looked great. But I guess that's how yards work. Man. Sims says, hey, Dean, glad to see you. Glad to see you, Sims. I don't know why I make fun of people's names. You understand that I'm saying it in love. All right. Hey, he can come out. What's going on? Like, I got my door like right there, and a little man is looking at me, but he's not saying anything. What are you trying to? You're just smiling now. What? He just wants to sit there. I wish I could turn the camera around easily. He's just standing there with the iPad, with his head against the screen door. All right. That's where he's hanging out, I guess. Larry says, no worries. I've been catching these for a while now. So know what I'm in for and I'm here for. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. How many people have we got? Once again, doesn't matter if I'm on OBS or if I'm on Ecamm. It never tells me. I got 36 people watching. Ecamm tells me on the screen, but not on my stream deck. Oh, it's so frustrating. Is it cold outside? Nope. It's plenty warm. It's really warm. Do you want to come out here? Do you want to come out here? All right, you can come out here and sit over here. Is that what you want? All right. It's a slow process. Yeah, you can sit right here, pal. Do you want to come and say hi? All right, say hi. Here, say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Just the top of your head. Yeah, you sit right next to me. That works. All right. Must be freezing up there. No, it's not. It's really warm. I love it. Caveat. What's up, roller? Yo. Am power washing now. Sweet. I need to power wash my house. Although I'm nervous at the amount of paint that might come off. Because, again, we got some work to do. Laurel says we should have a housewarming for you guys, an online housewarming. I think it already happened. Like a lot of you guys even helped, during Christmas time when we're like, oh crap, we got to put out more money than we thought, and you guys have been awesome. So the house has been warmed. Steven says, howdy, folks. It's warm in Scotland. Steven, why do you got to rub it on our face like that? Not only are you in Scotland, but it's also warm. That's not fair. We will probably get wildfires soon. It's very dry. Yeah, I'm expecting there to be a ton around here too, because it was not very snowy. Seemed like it some weeks, but overall not very snowy. So that means drier lands. Here we all are, chilling and talking about life on the slippery slope, whatever that is. Yeah, I guess we're on it. We're on the slippery slope, and we know where it's going. We all know, right? It's only a matter of time until we're all affirming, woke, progressive. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are already there. I don't know. I get told that a lot. Like it's just a matter of time. I really don't like that. I don't like it at all. The pats on the head from the more liberal folks being like, "Oh, someday you'll get there. Just keep being you. Just keep being you, and someday you'll be me." I appreciate that, Carol and Squirrel. Yeah, that's the story of my life. Just being like, what? Laurel says lots of interest makes for an interesting person. Methinks. I hope so. I don't know. What did Heidi say? What is going on here? Oh, do you hear a buzz? There was a buzz. I need to get a new microphone cord before the show starts back up. Whenever I plug it into this one, maybe it's the microphone. Maybe it is the microphone. But I get a little bit of a buzz. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. Let's see. Write it and I'll share it and we'll get the stuff out there. Look at you guys. Tag team in the Twitters. Yes, do it. Do it. Start your own podcast. I'd listen to that podcast. What are you doing, pal? What are you looking at? Yeah? You just want to look right at the monitor? Okay. Yep, you see that? Cool. It's a good thing you did. Dylan used to have green hair and a mohawk. Why do you guys live in Alberta? Just come over here. It's nicer over here. We don't have as much smoke right now, so at least we got that going. But come on out and live in Saskatchewan, and I can hang out with Dylan because he sounds all. Oh yeah, and Pam. I'm sorry, Pam. I don't want to just. Again, you got dibs on this podcast. You were here first. Dylan has to deal with it, but also I want to be best friends with Dylan. I just do. he's just green hair and a mohawk. Are you kidding me? Dr. Ed Romine, who I would love to see with a green mohawk, says Joel Webbin is an uneducated heretic. It angers me that uneducated men, uneducated Goombas can have such big platforms. It hurts the church. Yeah. Dang, man. I don't think I would call him a heretic. At least I haven't heard anything that would make me go, and like, I'm not trying to like be like, well, you shouldn't. But I'm just, I'd be curious as to know like what particular piece of theology he affirms or rejects that would make him a heretic. Granted, I really don't like his stuff. And I don't like his rhetoric. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like his fascination with fairies. Which, if you had told me like 10 years ago that there would be a guy with 100,000 subscribers, which Right Response Ministries has grown a considerable amount. Like last year or something like that, they were at like 16,000. So they've grown like crazy. And it's on the back of conspiracy. And so they're talking about like fairies and stuff. If you had told me that a Christian channel with 100,000 subscribers that claims to be reformed would be talking about fairies like 10 years ago, I would have said like, you're insane. You are literally insane, and you need to go see somebody. But now I guess that's just the way it is. And he's like arguing that fairies are biblical. And the thumbnails, like, I think if you were to talk to him, he'd be like, well, I don't mean Tinkerbell. But his thumbnails have Tinkerbells. It's like, come on. How am I supposed to take you seriously? Like, I get, some people would just even look at me and be like, who is this guy? I shouldn't take him seriously. And whatever. If you don't want to take me seriously, don't take me seriously. But I refuse to take a guy seriously who's making videos about fairies and Tinkerbells in his thumbnails and claiming to be, this source of Reformed theology. And yeah, like what you're saying, like uneducated. I go back and forth on that. I think everyone, it's just the way the internet is, right? Like it is the level playing field where we can all do what we want. Heidi and Pam can start a podcast and talk about theology. And I know Heidi went to Bible college. I think Pam did too. But they might not have seminary degrees, and people should listen to that. Just because you don't have like a doctorate or an MDiv doesn't mean you can't talk about theology online. But I think that there's a way that you talk about it. Like, I never claim to be like an expert in theology. Like, theology is in the title of the channel, but I'm not an expert. I don't have a doctorate. Like, all of my ministry training, like, I have graduate degrees, but it's all practical stuff. It's not like I took like my 5th year of Greek, and like went into the weeds about all these, I don't know, like, what do you even do for smart people stuff? I don't know. But it's like practical ministry stuff. But like, if you're going to go on here and claim to be an expert, you should have that education. And those guys, oh yeah, those guys, they do that. They claim to be experts. They claim to be, these arbiters of truth. That's a phrase that keeps coming to mind with these guys, that they make it go like, if you don't side with me, then you're not a Christian, or you're not as faithful of a Christian, or you're not as mature as a Christian. And like, that's where I go like, where's your education? And Joel Webbin doesn't have any. Like, come on, Brian Sauvé. He went to Calvary Chapel, guys. Like, these guys aren't coming from like some, classic Reformed school, and they're all claiming like, oh, we found the 1689 and now we're Presbyterians. And no, you're not. You just like to wear suits now. that's what that is. And maybe you think it's cool that you can baptize your babies and rule your family a certain way. Like, you're not a Presbyterian. Like, but they all watched Doug Wilson's videos, and now they think that. But yeah, if you're going to come onto the internet and be like, I'm an expert and deserve, like, as if not just that they would like to have a platform, but that they like kind of deserve to have a platform, then yeah, you need to be educated. And like, why should I listen to you? Right? Like, for me, I do have ministry degrees. I don't have a doctorate, but as I've said many times, some of you guys might be like, why does he always talk about it? I feel like I have to sometimes. I have a BA, MA, MDiv, and I've had a decade of pastoral ministry experience. So, like, if you want to come at me and be like, he doesn't know his stuff, okay, but at least I have some credibility, Like, and if I didn't, I don't know if I'd be making the same kind of content that I do right now. I don't know, maybe I would, but it's a thing. It's a thing. But I hear where you're coming from, Ed. Sims. That's probably like Steve, but Dean, there's been a lot of gun incidents in churches here in the States, from Joel Osteen's church to the recent ones in PA. What are your thoughts on churches having security? I think that it's fine to have security teams. I have many thoughts about guns. There's a old Theo Live episode where I talked about my thoughts on guns, and nobody liked it. Joe saw it. Joe Thorne, just drop that name. But he didn't like it. Ruslan was in that stream. He didn't like it. So most people don't like it. But those are my thoughts. I am against guns unless you're hunting. I said in that stream, I have a lot of concerns about people who are like saying stuff like, if someone comes into my house, they're going to get blown away. Like, I hear that from like anyone who steps in my house and threatens my family. I'm going to blow them away. Well, that person who's willing to do that, like who's willing to come into your house with a weapon to hurt somebody, like, they're probably not a Christian. I have major concerns about sending someone to hell, and knowingly do that. But again, I have a Louisville Slugger next to my bed. It is right over there. And anyone who comes to my house is going to get that thing. Like, I'm going to defend my family. So it's not like I'm like a pacifist. But I think that there's a difference between being willing to end someone's life and, hurting them real bad. Which, some would be like, it might be more dangerous with a bat. I don't think so. Yeah. So, I don't think Christians should be bringing guns into church, which some people wouldn't like me saying that, but I don't see how that jives with being peacemakers and meek people. It's not that you're weak, but I think that there is a way to deal with things. Granted, someplace like Joel Osteen's church where there's thousands of people gathering, not for church because it's not a church, but they're gathering anyways. I think that maybe the police should be there, like have a presence, like you would at a baseball game or something. Like, you have that amount of people, that maybe they should, kind of hire out security, that you would have, people who know what they're doing. Like, a lot of these guys are like, this guy used to be in a biker gang. I've literally heard that at a mega church, where they had guys who were in biker gangs and they came to Jesus, and so that's why they're on the security team guarding the children, as if like that was like a selling point. Like, that's how seriously we take it. We have former biker gang guys. So, like, I don't know if that really qualifies you, but yeah, I think that churches should be smart about it, and they should have plans in place for what happens, exit strategies, people who are seated in certain places, kind of like, I don't know, you go on an airplane and you're in the aisle seat, or not an aisle seat, but where the exit seat is. You got to know what you're doing and be ready to act, and maybe you should have a team in place of people that can handle themselves, and they're sat in certain areas so that they can, spring into action. But I don't think that requires guns. So I would be against that. But everyone in life tells me I'm wrong. So I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an expert when it comes to that. That's just my opinion. Steven says, I bet deep down you long to wear a kilt and run screaming down the road, brandishing a long sword and screaming, I'm coming for you, Dougie boy. Not saying that. But let's just say I watch Braveheart a lot. Okay. I don't know. It just speaks to me. Let's see. Kip is here. What's up, Kip? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, my friend. Dwayne, what's up, man? Haven't caught a live stream in a while. Why is that, Dwayne? Why is that? I'm just kidding. I don't know why I threaten people as soon as they come in and say, it's my first time being here, or I haven't been here in a while. And I'm just like, well, why? That's not how you build an audience. Larry says, I know you watch WWE. True. I recently, what? Is it glitchy? Is it glitchy out here? We have like the best internet I've ever had in my life. If it's still glitchy, I see Ecamm being a little twitchy over here. Let me know. I'll find it. I'll eventually get to the comments. If this is going to be glitchy, I'm going to be upset because we are paying more for this great internet. Bummer. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll deal with this. Larry says, maybe it's just Ecamm because the comments are being weird too. I don't know. It seems like everything is kind of glitchy, but it seems like more of my computer than maybe the stream. I know you watch WWE. I recently met someone and she doesn't mind wrestling, but hates the women and how they dress and doesn't want me to watch them. How does your wife feel about the WWE women? Oh, interesting. She doesn't care, to answer that part. Well, like, I don't know. It probably depends on your background a little bit and what circles you've run in. Like there was a period in my life when all of that stuff didn't matter to me. Like you go to the pool and they're going to be wearing less than what you'd see on WWE, or at least most of the time. Now, certainly there are outfits that you're just like, why are you wearing that? And then maybe you just like turn it off and go to the next thing. But mostly, like at the very least, they're wearing bathing suits. And for me growing up, like it just, girls wear bikinis. Like I didn't even think about it. Like not a big deal. And then I went to Bible college and they're like, no, everything is sexual. Like you didn't know? Everything has to be sexualized. And it's just like all of a sudden you start realizing that girls are wearing bikinis. Or at least like thinking like it matters. But yeah, so it didn't matter, then it did, and it took me a while to kind of get over that. But again, that was mostly the circles I was running in rather than my own brain. So I guess it really depends on like what you're thinking. And I'm not going to, like for me, that's not like a struggle that I have of like, oh, I'm going to linger on certain, parts that are more exposed. Like that's not my struggle. But I think that takes you just being honest with yourself. Like not just you, Larry, but like anyone who's watching that, and whether that's guys watching WWE, what used to be the divas, but the female wrestlers, or I don't know, watching the guys, for the girls, like whoever. You just got to be honest with yourself and understand like what is actually tempting for you, what your thoughts are about it. Are you watching it because you enjoy like the content, or are you watching it because you enjoy other things? And if it is that, then you should flip the channel when it's a female match, or if it's such a big deal, then maybe you don't have to watch it. There are certain things that I don't watch because it would be something like that. Like I can't watch that. I can't get around certain things. Like but that's all about you and like what you're actually dealing with. So I would say don't base it off of someone else. Now, if you're in a relationship, that's different. You're talking about you've met someone. So I'm assuming like this is like a dating relationship, and she's looking at it and being like, wow, you watch this? I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. I think you should have like a really honest conversation. If that's not a thing for you and you're not tempted and you're like watching it with a clear conscience, then you should tell her that. And again, it isn't more than you would see than when you go to the beach. And so, are you going to be like some of these weirdy fundamentalists who are like, we can't even go to the beach? Probably not. Maybe. And I shouldn't say just weirdy fundamentalists do that, but like, if you're struggling with that, then then just be honest with her about it and say where you're at. And if she's still pushing, then maybe turn it on her a little bit, not to get in like a huge argument. Like, you shouldn't try to blow up the relationship because of this, but like turn it around on her a little bit and be like, okay, well, does my conscience bind yours? Like, isn't that a you want to rock volcano for your birthday? I don't know if that's something I can do, pal. But it is the like weaker, stronger brother argument. And you should be like, all right, well, if there's something that like I'm uncomfortable with, does that make it an already like out of bounds for you? Is that a deal breaker? Like, I think you should have those kind of conversations. And even if you don't like want to have it specifically about WWE, you want to just have it about something else, I think it's a worthwhile conversation. And every Christian couple does have to go through it. I mean, I shared about this on a stream a while back. Like, that was one of the biggest arguments that me and Heather had before we got married, was over movies, because we were living in Fundyville, and your boy, I'm strong-willed, but like, you live in Fundy world for so long, you're starting to have those kind of thoughts kind of impressed on you, and you're thinking that they're yours for a little while. There is like, I don't know. Oh, don't step on that. There is kind of a, I don't know, just fitting into your context thing that happens. So, so me and Heather had it out about it, and I was wrong. And I was trying to impress my conscience on hers and bind her to my conscience, even before marriage, which I'm not even sure after marriage you should. Like, you should be, if you're in a loving relationship, you should differ to one another, or defer, not differ, defer to one another. But not when you're dating, or at least not right off the bat. What? Are you asking what the number is? All right. If you're going to be out here, you need to chill out a little bit. Guys, like, this is my stream now. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Did you see the Northern Lights last night, Dwayne asked? Yes, I did. And it was pretty great. Winsome, what's up? Hello from Northern Ireland. It is indeed warm here. What? Winsome, you're from Ireland? How did this never come up, bro? We've just spent the day exploring ancient tombs. Oh, he's visiting. That's why. In the inland mountains with the fabulous sainted sinner. What? That's so cool. Meeting people from Twitterland. All right. Or maybe, I don't know. Now I'm like, do you guys know each other? Are you the same person? I don't know. Man, that's one thing I got to say. All these people living their lives anonymously on Twitter and stuff. Like, I'm convinced like there are 6 accounts that are the same account. I'm convinced of it. They all sound the exact same to me. But I'll never know. I'll never know. Will anonymous accounts be like shown in heaven? Will we know who those people are? Just kidding. Kind of. Heidi says, me too. I was here first, and I brought my standard bearer Aaron with me after I vetted you. He. That's right. He won't outpace you. Actually, I think I might call Joel a heretic. When you make women as low as he does, I think it messes with the gospel, even if he doesn't say that overtly. That's an interesting idea, and I would like you to flesh it out a little bit, maybe on the Twitter. But yeah, I mean, there are ways. I think if you are a firm racist, then I don't see how you can be believing in a gospel that Jesus preached, at least, because we are all equal in our sin. And if you think that there's something inherently good about yourself, as in the color of your skin or where you're from, there's even this thing with some of these guys with the social statement on social justice, that you think you're from a culture that is inherently better. And you do realize you're messing with your state as a sinner when you start talking like that, right? But they don't agree with me, and they just go, woke. You brought up race. So, like, I do think that there are plenty of things that people are going like, that doesn't have anything to do with the gospel. And like, once you get into the weeds about it, you're like, actually, it does. So there are plenty of things that people would be like, that can't make you a heretic. And then you like really think through it, and you're like, yeah, it does. So I'd be interested to hear where you're going with it. Non-exceptional bear, but she did pick me over a man. Oh, is this like the bear thing? I was totally out on that until like 3 days later, which is pretty much how I am. Yes, I would choose Aaron over an exceptional bear any day. That's cool. Larry says, what does Larry say? All right, Ecam. Yeah, he and those haunted Cosmos guys are wild. I find it very odd, though, in all fairness, I don't discount the possibility of fairies. All right, but you're not making a YouTube channel about it. I don't know. I will say there is just something in me. I don't know. Maybe it's my inner cool kid, but it's so dumb. I don't. Just me. I'm not saying for everybody, but it just sounds so dumb to me. Like, what? Talking about fairies in the Old Testament? What are you talking about? I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Like, but if you think that's the way it is, maybe that's for you. I've got a brother-in-law who loves Bigfoot, and he's just all about it. So, to each their own. But I don't know. Call him something else, right? I don't know. I don't want to be that guy, but call it something else. Enough of this fairy stuff. What? You want that? No, you can't just take my equipment. You can't take that from me. Now he's wanting my sunglasses. I can see it in his eyes. You won't be able to see, pal. What are you gonna do? You can go back inside. Do you want to go back inside with your iPad? Go hang out with big brothers? Largely agree with you, my brother, concerning Webbin. Okay. All right. Heidi says, I think when you view people puts half of them below you because of gender, we should consider them heretics. Yeah. Well, I guess, like, if it's going to be like the racism thing, and you think you're inherently better because of your sex, then I might agree with you. But I don't know if I've heard Webbin say that. But again, I don't listen to the guy all that much. I like see stuff, and I go in for a second and go like, "What foolishness," and then I bail. Like, it's just what I don't know how some of these people are like. I don't know how you could put up with that, but I don't know. People would say the same thing about my channel. So, Tax Collector says, "Hey Dean, hey underdogs, thanks to everyone who lifted my family up in prayer last week. We had the funeral, and she looked very beautiful. That's great, man. I'm glad that your family feels like they've been encouraged. Been praying for you. It's a weird thing. Like, in ministry and life, I remember being like, okay, we had the funeral, and now we're moving on. And like, you see that widow, for a couple months, and you're like, oh, how you doing? But it just doesn't go away, buddy. No, I see that back there. You do not put an iPad on the rail, sir. Take that down. Hey, Charlie, don't put the iPad up there. You can come and sit over here, or you can go inside. That's where we're at, bro. You can sit here, or you can go inside. Okay. I do think an MDiv qualifies a person to talk authoritatively on theology. I mean, yeah, but also like some MDivs aren't like as theological. That's what I'm saying. Like my my theological education was never I'm going to go and teach or academic. Like I mean, it is academic, but I always wanted like more classes on counseling, more classes on pastoral ministry, more classes on the practical stuff, rather than like I'll take Pauline epistles number 7. You know, where are you going, pal? You are trying to escape the sun, but I don't know why you're out here then, because it's nice and cool inside. Let's see. Back from Reform Conference was good. Oh, you went to a Reform Conference? Who was speaking? Um, Against guns, how un-American. I've been told I'm the most Canadian American that anyone has ever met. I'll take it. I'll take it. I just don't like them. I don't like them. I don't think we need them. Zooming? Is it resuming in a new stream? Is that what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're here, I don't know. I restarted my computer. If anyone is here, let me know by hopping in the chat and saying I am here and I can hear you and the glitches are gone. My computer was so stinking hot, so I guess the sun is really beating on it, and yeah, that's probably why it was getting so glitchy. So I put the umbrella up, and now it's sitting in the shade a little bit cooler. So maybe it'll be okay for a little bit longer. Um, but saw a lot of Satan is attacking you. I don't know why he would, because we're on the same network under the same banner. I'm just kidding. All right, cool. People can hear. That's good. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? The comments are now gone from the other one, at least on my platform, so I don't have those. So I need more stuff. But everything is okay? Like, not glitchy? Am I glitchy? Am I not? It's still a Vans hat. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably too dark. Although I don't have to wear. No, I still have to. Still have to wear the sunglasses, even at dark. Let's see. Carol is here. Carl is here. Larry is here. And yeah, so far okay. Okay, cool. What are we talking about now? Everyone's saying you're good now. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad I am good. We can talk about this being the studio. We are going green screen again. I don't know. We might keep it green screen, like for good. I get like because of who I am. I already talked about maybe in this stream. I don't know if this is coming up as the same stream. I saw continue, so I hit that, and I think that this is on the same stream. But earlier, I talked about just being one of those kind of creative types. Not that I'm great at creating, but just I'm a creative type, so I get distracted and want different things, and you can see it with my set stuff too. But green screen means I don't have to spend money. All I have to do is design, and I like designing, and that's fun. So I will probably go to green screen for at least the foreseeable future, unless there's like a whole bunch of glitches with it, like everything else apparently. But I will say this one was not eCam. Like this is the first time in a while that it was strictly my computer. Like, but it's my own dang fault for not realizing that it's actually hot out, and it was getting really hot. Yes, this is the same screen. This is the same stream. That's cool. The other comments are here. I just had to scroll up. I haven't gotten a full sentence from you, Dean, in about 3 minutes. Well, that's pretty normal. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, when I looked up and I was like, 10? What happened? I guess people don't like my stuff. But it's probably just like, what the heck, this guy isn't going to read his comments and see that his stuff has been weird for like 15 minutes. I had to restart my TV last night. I'm having issues with my TV. First off, my 65-inch TV died. Gave up the ghost. Um, I have it downstairs. I might get a new card. I fixed it once before. Like got a new graphics card from China and fixed it, and it was working for. Whoa! It is windy. Oh man. Uh, I'm gonna just be holding this for the rest of the stream. Um, what was I saying? I got it from China and I fixed it, and then about 6 months later, it died again. And I don't know whether I want to buy another graphics card because it's about $100 to get it from China. And it's just like, is it worth it? It's not that great of a thing. It's okay, pal. Big brother is like, we aren't supposed to be out there. Um, but yeah, so I might have to do that. But now my other TV that I've mounted, um it's having some sound issues. What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
Me.
What are you doing?
I'm just watching the Iron and come outside.
You want to come outside?
Mm-hmm.
What are you watching on that iPad?
Me.
Are you watching Lightning McQueen?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do me a favor and hold on to this umbrella. I don't think it'll blow over again. We'll see.
Oh yeah, super kitty.
It is getting windy again. Oh dang. Let's see. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go up. I'm going to go up. Larry says, I've not followed the John Paul and Micah situation enough to have an opinion, though it seems like there was at least abuse of some kind. Oh boy. Um, what what a crazy, crazy situation. There's going to be, I don't know, like it's not even going to be Christians doing it. There's going to be like podcasts, 2020 episodes, like it's insane. Like when you start finding out, like at least what's being reported, and it's all from sources I've never heard about. So I haven't shared anything because I don't know what's real and what's not, and it's not coming from like actual news sites. So I don't know whether it's accurate or not. But some of the details that have come out from these sites that are supposedly real are insane. Like this John Paul guy seems like maybe the worst pastor ever. Um, and also, like, there's just like all kinds of stuff. And there are like confirmed details of like, if you don't know what's going on, this John Paul Miller, I think, um, he's a pastor somewhere, maybe Ohio, I don't know. And his wife died. They were in the middle of a separation, and she had restraining order, but it wasn't. I don't know. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on. There's all kinds of like conspiracies, and I won't even say conspiracies. Just more of like just thoughts that there might be more to this. That it wasn't self harm like what was being said, but like he's yeah from those sources that I don't know are true or not. There's been all kinds of abuse that's been alleged, but also just details that are true of like he met her when she was 14 and he's like 15 years older than her or something like that. Like that's no great. Not great, not great. Like when you're in a ministry position, like this is one of the main reasons I will never send my kids to any camp. I'm just not doing it. I don't trust any of them. Like even the Christian ones, it's just like what. But yeah, there's all kinds of theories about what happened with her death, and whether it was, um, self harm or not. I don't know. But it's insane. kind of like this umbrella. Why isn't it locked in? There's supposed to be a thing. I don't know. I don't know why it's locked in. Why it's not locked in. I can fix the 6666 by unsubscribing. It's not the way. It's not the way. We only go up. We never go down. What?
Let me just sit in your lap.
But I'm leaned over. You don't need to sit on my lap right now. You can sit in that chair. If you sit over in this chair, you can sit over in that chair, and you'll be in the shade. Thoughts?
No.
Do you guys know the SNL episode? I may have referenced this already at the stream, but you guys know the SNL sketch of Herb Welcher? Isn't that? Maybe it's not him, but it's Bill Hader, and he's like a news reporter guy, and he's interviewing people, and he always just like goes like, "What are your thoughts?" And he like whacks people in the face with the microphone, and then like gives like this, like they'll say like some nuanced thing, and he says, "Yep, just a woman complaining," and back to you, like, or something like that. After, it's one of my favorite bits ever, and I always feel like that when I get this microphone in my hands. Let's see. Larry says the church is in North Carolina, and the way he announced his wife's death was odd and sus. Yeah, he like it was like people thought he was doing like an altar call, and he's just like, just so everyone knows, my wife died on Thursday or something like that. So weird, so weird. And then like there's reports of her having like a restraining order, and now there's stuff about him like stealing her Facebook and like sending church members messages as her and accusing her of things and threatening her, and like it's just someone will do a deep dive on that, and I will read it or watch it or listen to it, whatever medium it is. But I will check that out, and it will be very interesting. But I just don't know enough about it to like really talk about it for myself. Carol says, "I don't blame you, Dean. Don't have any missionaries or pastors stay with you." How sad, right? But kind of. Right? Like I've had friends in ministry that I've had stay with me. Um, yeah, and then you hear stories of like, yeah, this friend of the family, like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as far as like sending them to a camp, yeah, right. Like, no. I've I've been around too long in ministry circles, and heard too many stories, and it doesn't. It's not even like always like people go to prison for what they do kind of stuff. It's just like unsafe things, um, and then like manipulative things, or like spiritually manipulative things. It's just like I ain't trusting my kids' spiritual, physical well-being, or even mental well-being with some of these people. Most of the time, they're begging people for volunteers, like so they get the worst. Like I'm sorry, but like they get like the worst volunteers, and sometimes even like the people that they get running these things. I've met like I don't know, I won't go into too much detail because maybe some people watch some things, but like you talk to some of these guys who run these camps. It's like you don't care about kids. You just didn't get that like big church, so now you're doing this. Like, it's not like they just sound like they're always complaining about these kids. It's like you have a camp. You're a camp director. Like, don't you care about these kids? It's like I want them saved. It's not the same thing. Like, come on. Carl says I'm gonna hold on to this like the entire time. I'm just so concerned about my computer. SNL hasn't been good since the early '80s. I don't know. There've been some good moments. Like I grew up on SNL. Always have watched SNL. Snuck down on Saturday nights to turn on the black and white TV really quiet. I know some of you guys are like black and white TV. You're only like 30 something. we had that. We were poor, and we had a black and white TV for a while, and so I would sneak downstairs and turn it on, or sometimes if my dad was watching the news and he fell asleep, switch it over and just quietly giggle and watch it. But yeah, like I grew up just after like Chris Farley went off to go make movies, but like Jimmy Fallon, Tina Fey, like that kind of stuff was around. Later days of Will Ferrell being on there, but I loved SNL, and lately it hasn't been great. I'll admit that. It hasn't been good in a while, but there's still every once in a while. It depends. Like it used to be, like SNL was just funny because of the cast, and now it's not. It's funny because of who's the guest, and that's kind of like the sad state of affairs for SNL. Um, it used to not matter who the guest was. That was just to get people to watch, but it was always just funny because of who the cast was. And now, like, it's only funny because Ryan Gosling was on. And Ryan Gosling is hilarious. Or you have someone doing some funny bit, like, remember when they did The Rock Obama? That's one of my favorite ones ever. I thought that was hilarious, but like because you made The Rock into like the Hulk version of Barack Obama, and like that's hilarious. But it's not because of the cast. It's just because it was The Rock and it was a funny idea, and that's like kind of how it is now. But there are still some funny moments, but it's not as good as it used to be. Let's see. What was the Chris Farley? Do you know a man who lives in a van down by the river? I watch a lot of van lifers, and they usually live by the river. So, yeah, man. I had so many of those Chris Farley sketches saved on my iPod video when I went to Bible college in 2008 or 2007. And yeah, I would watch those things constantly. That and Celebrity Jeopardy episodes. Watch the different. No, I won't go in there. I won't do it. I won't do it. Almost got me. You're not going to get me canceled for that. Um, Heidi says, Rod Rosenblatt talked about the Christian moralism in SS material, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Also, I think Christian homeschool curriculum messed with me because of that too. Probably, yeah. Um, I don't think. What did I miss something? What is SS? Oh, okay. Oh, on the other hand, I had asked what on the other stream. I had asked what you think of Samuel Say and others in that group who say there is no such thing as racism. Not sure if you saw that. No, I did not see that, and I think that's ludicrous. Do they really think that there's no such thing as racism, or is it just like that's a worldly term, and I'd rather use biblical terms? They don't do that with anything else.
Where's that?
Cancer isn't in the Bible. I'm not going to use that term. Well,
Eve.
that's just stupid.
If right
I'm sorry,
there.
but some of those guys, I will say this: I don't know why anyone pays attention to Samuel Say. Like I did a stream about it a month ago now, and so I gave my thoughts. But like, I just don't get it. I don't get how he has a platform. He capitalized on all of the social justice stuff and became a mascot for people. It's always that. Look at Vodi Bakum. Like you might like Vodi's preaching, but that's not why he's famous. He's famous because I'm not going to get canceled for that either. Not going to catch me today. Oh man, almost. I used to enjoy Jay Leno. I saw him at a restaurant. His chin is bigger in real life. I believe it. I don't like Jay Leno. I am of that mind. Conan O'Brien is my favorite comedian. And the way he got treated and all that stuff, no thank you. No thank you. I don't like it. I think Jay Leno is a terrible, terrible human being. So, That's where I stand. I know some people love him, maybe grew up on him, or you know, saw his stuff all the time, but not for me. And they're like, cancel for what? Dean, what are you gonna get canceled for? Why don't you just say it? You have nice green grass. For now. For now. I don't care for voting. All right. Okay, Heidi. But what did you mean with SS in your previous comment? As a German, that has some connotations that you probably didn't mean. Yeah, like same for me. I was like, SS. It can't be that. So what is it? What did Samuel say? That's what I get now. It's okay, Dean. We all have different likes. Sure. Crusader says Team Coco. Those were the days. Those are still the days for me. Team Coco for life. I mean, if I could meet some people in real life, some of the people that I would really want to meet. One, Jack Black, 100%. I would love to hang out with Jack Black, and I wouldn't even. I would resist the urge to take a picture with him because I just want to hang out with him, and I feel like he always gets put on of like, do Jack Black, like do it, just be it, and I wouldn't want to do that with him. I just want to see how he really is, and I would just want to like just soak that in. So I would want to hang out with him. Conan O'Brien would be up there. Um, hmm, Kobe would have been up there, but can't. Um, Edgar Martinez. I would love to hang out with Edgar Martinez, Seattle Mariner. Love him. Um, Brett Barry, who was a Seattle Supersonic, and just seemed like a really cool guy. And he's a cool guy on Twitter, and I would love to hang out with him and talk sports and talk about Seattle Supersonics getting taken from us. Joe Thorne. I haven't met Joe Thorne in real life, so I'd like to, but I feel like that's easy, so it doesn't count. Um, is there any politicians? No, because they're politicians. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I don't really have a whole list. It's just like 5 people that I'd be like, that'd be cool to meet them. Same with Say would be no. Say it, Dean. Say why Fody Bakum is famous, please. I think everybody knows. I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty apparent why some people are famous, and it's not that they couldn't have been famous a different way. All right, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that there's a reason why some of these guys are famous because certain people use them as mascots for some pet theological, ideological position, and because they are who they are, they were used in that way and propelled forward. Like you see it all the time, all over the place in all different kinds of fields. If you're willing to say certain things and you belong to a certain camp, then you'll be platformed. And they could have been platformed for other reasons had they worked hard in other ways and maybe not, get used in that way. But I don't know whether they'll ever see it that way. But I think it's kind of naive to think otherwise. Uh, SS equals Sunday school material. Oh, be a David, be a Daniel, be a Dean. Why isn't anyone saying that? Why are you moving the chat up on me, bro? Why are you moving the chat? No, you can't do that. We're still over here. Larry says, "Oh yeah, Conan O'Brien, hands down, far funnier than Jay Leno." I mean, come on. You see him on Hot Ones? Hilarious, deadly, hilarious. Pam says Samuel Say actually stated that racism isn't a thing during our Christian school PD day. Also, I have resigned from the school for a variety of reasons, effective next year. Yeah, I saw that you said that on Twitter. One, I'm sorry you feel like you had to do that. Like, sounds just reading between the lines here. Sounds like it was probably a difficult decision, so I'm sorry you had to do it that way. But also, that's legit terrible. And it's just unreasonable. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we all know that it's real. Like, again, if they want to be like, it's not a biblical term, why use a non-biblical term? Okay, but we do it with everything else because the Bible doesn't talk about everything. Yes, he has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness, but not in exact terms. Like, we still have to learn things. What? Which one?
This one.
You want me to put this up? All
Uh-huh.
right. Charlie wants this one up there. Is that what you wanted?
Uh-huh.
Why did you pick that one?
Well, I just want that one.
Oh, okay. Which one should we put up on screen next?
This one.
This one?
No, this one.
These are the ones that my son likes the best.
Oh, this one.
All right. Any others?
Uh-huh.
Which ones?
That one.
This one?
Uh-huh.
Do you just like colors?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got Sims. Sorry. And Johnny Appleseed and Heidi are Sim's favorites. Oh, you want to put Heidi on screen again? Dang.
This
Is it
number.
because it's because of Aaron, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
No, this one.
We'll get to it. All right. Stop being so bossy. Who's the boss? Oh no. Who's the boss? Daddy's the boss, right?
No.
Acknowledge me. What? Come on. You need to submit to my authority, okay?
No.
LOL, sorry everyone. That's what I get for assuming that abbreviations are universally understood. I don't understand any. Everyone is always using abbreviations like as they're typing things, and I just don't know. Michael S., if you're watching this on the replay, we'll do this when he's talking about
This one.
on Instagram. We're having a conversation or something. And
I got this one.
messages,
This
and
one.
he'll be like,
I got this one.
And it'll take me 5 minutes to understand what the abbreviation is supposed to be for. And it's not like it should make sense, but it just doesn't for me. I don't know what it is about my brain. Pam says, so yeah, I need a job, LOL. I'm thinking about what to do next. Been a teacher since 2001. That is a big change to do. Yeah. I mean, there's, you guys are like by Red Deer or something, right? Like, there's probably not a lot of schools to switch to, especially if you're coming from like a Christian education background. So that might be a difficult task. Okay. What's Crusader up there? Can you do a video on the seeker-sensitive movement? I grew up in a seeker-sensitive emergent church. I don't know, man. Like, it's been done. Like at least for me. Like, I have a specific interest. Or at least what I feel is like I have a certain expertise in an area in a theological camp because it's my own. And so I talk about that. So I have a hard time sometimes venturing out of that because I feel like, why does anyone care what I think about that? I don't have really any expertise in that area. It's not where I grew up. It's not where I've been theologically trained.
Like a bear.
But if you want me to, sure, I could. I just think that like you could probably find that pretty easy of someone who would be talking about that specific stuff. But if you'd rather hear it from me, then I guess I can do that. I can't see when you put your hand over there. You want this one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Star says, I can't get over Vody calling children vipers in diapers for laughs.
That's
Hey, are you a viper in a diaper?
No.
What are you?
Charles.
Okay. All right. You can't put your head all the way over. You could look at it if you want. Your son has a good moment sometimes. Carl says, so at least we know why you are a heretic. Conan better than Leno. Does that make me a heretic? Come on, man. Everybody knows it. He is. He just is. One day, that little guy will become a streamer like his dad. Oh, man. What is the internet going to be like in 20 years? That's what I want to know. I still feel like we're in the wild, wild west of the internet. And I'm getting concerned of where things are going. I saw a video of someone talking about how dating in the future is going to be people's AI. Like you have a personal AI, and you have that AI talk to someone else's AI, and it'll match you up. And if your AIs match up, then you guys can like go on a date. This is where we're at. What is going on? You mean like the Trinity? It is not a biblical term, right? Depends on our translation. No, no, it's not. It's not a biblical term, but we use it. He's so adorable, Dean. Maybe your son could be your co-host. He would love it. I can't do that. It would bring him too much joy. All of my sons love all my equipment. Like they just like come over and like, what are you doing? Like even when I brought up the box, like to put all like the stuff together, they were just like, oh, what is he doing out there? They're so interested in it. And my oldest has a YouTube channel, and he talks about like Minecraft and things like that. And now I've got the green screen set up downstairs, so he's making videos with the green screen. It's looking pretty legit, but they love it. Streaming by Nero like when he's older? Maybe. Neo? Was it Neo? He does like you, Johnny. He does. Everyone, man, I didn't realize he'd be such a success. Come back out here. I'm enjoying your moments with you and your son. They grow up so fast. Yes, they do. It's ridiculous. That kid was so small, like a couple months ago. I hear it has been life-changing for you to wait tables. Dylan might not want you to go back to that, though. Yeah. Pam says one of the last straws was after they couldn't get Samuel Say to speak at next PD event. They're asking Pastor Tim, who got arrested for keeping his church open during COVID. To me, it's divisive. So they're getting Tim Stevens, huh? I will say, all right, those guys. I don't know. I don't know how much to say. Um, I don't like those guys. I can say that. I just don't. I don't like their rhetoric. I don't like their "we're a martyr" like thing of like being like we're the faithful ones and like putting on these conferences to have people come and basically thank them for standing up for truth and whatnot. Is it as dark as it looks? I think I can maybe take that down. I don't know. All right, that's better. Okay. I don't know. I'm not a fan of those guys. But I will say that Tim Stevens is a good preacher. Like I have sat underneath his teaching. I've met Tim, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So that was years ago. So it's been now it's coming back out, and my computer's going to be like, "Oh no, it's too hot." When was that? That was 2018. I met Tim. And again, like I thought his preaching was great. Typical kind of expository preaching. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on what he wants. Like they want him to talk about, I guess. But he's one of those guys that I would respect more if from that world. But I don't know. Sometimes it's just like the government is the worst. And is it? I don't know. Is it, or is it just you're mad because you went to jail for violating health restrictions? Okay. Thanks for listening and caring, friends. This channel has the best people in the chat. Yep, best people in the chat. Maybe not the best as I can, bro. Let's see. I'm glad I don't have a job. I am retired for almost 3 years. That's awesome. Worked real hard to get there, though, right? I don't think I will be here in 20 years with the internet. Well, who knows? Maybe none of us will, because the AI will take over the world, and it'll be the creator, the movie, all over. A personal customized AI would be awesome, actually. I mean, in a way, I could see that kind of technology being cool. Like, it knows the music that you like. And it'll start playing that music as soon as you get in the car. It knows the restaurants that you like or the things that you like from that restaurant. So you're like, order me some supper. I want a burger. And it knows which one to order from or best deal to find for you. Or, like that kind of stuff sounds interesting. But, like, using AI to find your spouse seems so alien, right? Like, that's just, no. That's, no thank you. There is a handbook you might be interested in, Underdog Theology. A handbook? Of what? Of how to do a stream properly? And he says, I thought Dean was about to predict the rapture. Oh, the rapture's coming. On the 21st of May, right? Yeah, it's the 21st of May. Nickel Creek told me. I'm pretty sure. Star. Speaking of staying in your lane, Dean, what do you think of MacArthur's Strange Fire stuff? Um, I am a cessationist. I don't know if I would like I use that because you guys understand what it means and you understand who I am. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd use that with everybody to articulate my position. But in a classic definition of it, not classic because it's a pretty new term. But that's what I am. So theologically on that subject, I'm pretty close to MacArthur. Um, I don't ascribe the motivations that he does to people. I think it's mostly about like your background and like what you thought was normal. And I think a lot of these people are meaning sort of normal spiritual things, but they're using like these miraculous terms to describe it. Most people, but then you got the demon slayers. So they're just out in Timbuktu, doing their thing. So yeah, like as far as MacArthur's stuff about it, it's just basically that where I'd probably take issue. Like it's probably the thing that I would agree with him the most as far as like his controversial stuff. Um, it's just I wouldn't ascribe motivation to everybody or say like that they're denying scripture because they have a different perspective than I do on it. Unless we're talking about like the Benny Hinn's. And that's I feel like MacArthur always takes like the most extreme person and says that's the normal. Like that's just how this whole theological camp is, and I obviously disagree with that. And I don't want I think it's a trap a lot of people can fall into. So MacArthur isn't the only one. It's a trap that even I can fall into at points, like even with like the Joel Webben stuff. I mean, it'd be very easy to fit him into like pigeonhole him with the rest of like the Doug Wilsons and Brian Sauvays and all those guys. But I don't want to do that. I would hate it if people did that to me. So I don't want to do that with them. And I feel like MacArthur just does that all the time with everybody. So yeah. Fantastic song. It is. Which is it? Which one? Which one are we talking about? I'm so bad at streaming. I really am. Some people are like, wow, you're so good at streaming. I'm like, you just, how? How do you think that? Because I'm always just like, I don't get what you're saying, chat. And I'm reading the chat like 5 minutes late usually. So Sims, an AI church fully automated like the Amazon Go store where there are no humans. I can see that. You mean like a mega church? You mean like a satellite campus? It's already happening. Um, I like. I'll try not to kid. I don't see how that happens. Like, because you still got to have people. Like, and or unless like if you're talking about a digital church and you're going into like an artificial world. But I don't know. I guess I don't know exactly what everyone means by. I was trying to really smoothly just take this umbrella out of the super heavy thing. That was almost bad. But yeah, I don't know AI well enough. Okay, I changed my mind now, says Johnny. I don't know. What is that about? They're talking back and forth. They're not talking. I'm sorry. I'm just that, like in my streams, I'm that awkward guy in the corner. Like I'm talking real loud, but no one's listening. they're all having their own conversations. That's what it is. And I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, oh, we were talking about that 5 minutes ago. Go back to the corner. Oh man, I think that's hilarious. Pam says to me, "I can see the future." That's cool. Oh, of church sliding to. It's Sunday morning. AI, can you preach me a sermon on hope in the Lord? Thanks. Yeah. Some of these guys, like they're already using it. Like there are companies that are already going. I thought about making an episode about this, but there are already companies using AI to help them write sermons, faster, or whatever, more efficiently. And it's just like that is so gross. Like, the idea, if the Apostle Paul came, like I know you could say this about a lot of things, and you could be wrong about a lot of things, but I just have like, if the Apostle Paul came, and he's like talking to people, and talking to a pastor, and like how do you do your sermon prep? And they're like talking about it. He's like, yeah, I just put it in here, and this thing helps me. It gives me a couple resources on it. Like, I just don't feel like that would fly. I feel like the Apostle Paul, one, of course, he'd be confused, but if he understood it, I think he'd be pretty ticked. Like it's not what he meant, but being apt to teach. Like, I feel like that's, come on. So like there are already people doing it, and all these celebrity pastors probably already have that. Like that, at least like those early things. It's not robust yet, but it will be, and they'll be using it like crazy. So like, I mean, we'll make jokes, but they're already doing it. Like so many of these celebrity pastors, like, and again, like this is the thing that they're paid for. That's what gets me, like, because they're not doing the other stuff. Like they're doing like the staff meetings and managing the staff, but they're not doing like the counseling, and they're not doing like the going and visiting with the shut-ins. Like they're not doing any of that pastoral stuff. So they literally are just speakers, but then they're not even doing the work for their own sermons. Like that is the one thing that they're getting paid for. They're not doing that. Like that's what's insane to me. I just think that those guys, like, they shouldn't have a job. Like they got to go get another job because they're not even doing their job. If you're stealing your apology from Joby Martin, you should not be paid to preach. Like, because you're not getting paid to pastor. You're getting paid to be a CEO of a staff, which isn't even like, they're not like, they want to use the language of being like CEOs and like, oh, business leadership and all this stuff. Like, you got less people under you than a retail manager. wife is a retail manager. She's high up, but she's a retail manager. She manages way more staff than these celebrity pastors, and gets paid like pennies to the dollar, right? But that's the stress of being, this hefty responsibility of being a celebrity pastor. Garbage. You aren't even writing your own sermons. You're probably not coming up with all your own devotions even for your staff. Probably just reading what somebody else wrote for you. It's just gross. It's really gross to me, actually. I get ticked. See, Dean, I think your interaction with that chat is strong point on this channel. Great. That's good. I really try, but sometimes I feel like I'm not smart enough to have a chat that goes as fast as this one does. It's just like sometimes I feel like, just catch up. I gotta catch up. Wait, guys, wait. What are you guys talking about? I don't know. And sometimes you guys ask hard questions, like even like that predestination question. It took me a while because I had to get my mind into that mindset. It's like, I'm not smart enough for this. This is why I don't call myself an expert. Systems. True. I meant the church staff. No human staff, just AI aside from congregants. Oh, yeah, maybe. You might be right on that one. And let's just put that up there again because we just want to show off. Not that I think it's a good idea. It creates community. That's true. That's what we're trying to do. And Larry says, apparently there was an AI priest on an RC Publications website that they had to shut down because it was giving incorrect and nearly heretical answers to layperson. I mean, it's going to happen. Guys, AI can't have the Holy Spirit. Like, no. It's not going to work. AI can't pastor you. But neither can some of these celebrity pastors. Wait till the Apostle Paul hears about Zoom. He's going to be ticked. Steven. Random question, Dean. All right. What's your opinion on the Honest Youth Pastor? I've been checking out his content recently, and I personally find it very hit or miss. You guys want me to spill the tea, huh? You want me to spill the tea. No, there's no tea to spill. I'll always give you guys my honest thoughts. I don't like trashing people. And when someone does something that I think is worthwhile, I will say it. Honest Youth Pastor is a confusing one for me. I just sometimes I see where he's going with stuff. I've seen some of his stuff because we talk about the same things. Like, actually, the way I found him was streams talking about the John MacArthur, Eileen Gray stuff. Like probably most people with this channel. I don't look at Christian stuff on Instagram. I look at graphic design, sports, Lego stuff on Instagram. And so, like, I know he's big on Instagram, but I only found that out after I saw a couple of his streams about the Eileen Gray thing. And right off the bat, I was ticked because he didn't know what he was talking about. Like Honest Youth Pastor watches this channel. He's hopped into the chat a few times. And he seems like that kind of person that does, like, again, I'm a media junkie. I can tell when someone else is a media junkie, and he's a media junkie. So he probably like watches this channel more than he hops into the chat. I hopped into his chat like right off the bat because he didn't know what he was talking about with a certified, ACBC. I forget what it stands for at this point. But he had no idea what ACBC was. And he was trying to talk about masters with the counseling stuff. And I remember just being like, what? Like, you shouldn't be talking if you don't know what you're talking about. And he was trying to sound like, he was this authoritative person on that. And I think I just started with asking him whether he knew what ACBC was. And he didn't. And I was like, oh, okay. But then again, every once in a while I'll see something, I'm like, oh, he's pushing back against that. Like even with the John MacArthur thing recently, um, he talked about the um, there's no such thing as mental illness thing, and like I didn't watch all of it. I mean, like I watched like 5 minutes. I can't watch, like I watch things to get someone's general idea about something, or if I'm going to be talking about it, or if like something really captures me, I will stick with it. But I like will only check out a few minutes of people's stuff usually, and so I checked it out and thought it was okay, and then moved on. So like hit or miss, I think is probably a pretty good description as far as my perspective of the honest youth pastor. But also, I'm super confused on some things. Like he was a part of Nathan Finocchio's conference thing that had Mark Driscoll speaking at it. Like, I think that got like no one talks about that. Like I see him go on like Alyssa Childers' YouTube channel, but he was just on like this speaking thing with Nathan Finocchio and Mark Driscoll and Matt Chandler. Like that kind of stuff confuses me. Like of just like I don't know where someone's coming from. But I don't think he's a bad guy. I I have looked into like like when that first happened. I Google stuff. I will find out things about people. Like I know how to use Google pretty well if I'm interested. So like I looked up his background, found like his school that he went to. I was trying to figure out like where is this guy coming from? Is he reformed? Because he's acting and talking like he's reformed. But then like if I remember right, it's like Wesleyan and but yeah. So like I've looked into him. I don't enjoy his content. I'll check out things to see generally what he's talking about, or you know, there's like I'm a content creator, so like I want to see what other content creators are doing and what they're talking about and what's working, what's not working. So I'll check out things that I look at a channel. I'm like, whoa, 240,000 views talking about Mike Todd and this like, making of a minister thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna check out a few minutes of that to see like, oh, okay, this is resonating with people, this kind of stuff, and whether I'm gonna make stuff like it or not, probably not. But I am interested to see what works and what isn't working. But yeah, I don't think I think he speaks with a lot of authority. Personally, I don't see the credibility for it. People would say the same thing about me. But I don't think he's as wrong as like someone like Spencer Smith or you know like some of those guys. I would put him above like people like Alan Parr. Um, you know, like I would probably put him in like the same camp as Mike Winger. That's who it is. So for him, he'd probably like be very thankful to be in that category. I could see that it's glitching again. It's too hot. It was too hot to handle, and it's starting to get back to that. And immediately the sun goes away. Okay, maybe it'll work for now. I don't know. Might already be too hot. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but if you can, I think I'm going to end the stream now because I can see that it's lagging over here. Okay, Carol says it's good. Um, is it? I feel like it wouldn't be. Guys, I think I will make another one. I will rank my Christian YouTubers. I will do a tier list. My next stream, that's what I'll do. I'll make a tier list of content creators, Christian content creators, and not to like just shame people and not to like people ask me though, what do you think about this guy? I see it. What are your thoughts on Ruslan? What are your thoughts on Corey? I'm assuming that's that Smart Christian channel. Horrible name. I'll say that. It's good? How is it good? What? You guys are saying it's good, but it doesn't look like it's good on my end. It looks like the same amount as glitch as before. How bizarre. Okay. But yeah, I'm still going to end it. Need to go run to Walmart and try to find the best Mother's Day card that's available. Um, um, but yeah, I'll do a stream this week about tier list ranking Christian YouTube channels, and we'll have some fun with it. And again, I'm sorry, honest youth pastor, if you watch this and you get offended. People ask me my opinion. That's my opinion. You're not. It doesn't make you a terrible guy, or and you don't have to like my channel, or whatever, all that kind of stuff. You make your stuff. You're a different person. All these content creators. I'm not a fan of most of them. All right, most of them. I'm not a fan. So it is what it is. So, and you don't have to be a fan of my stuff. That's how opinions work. Everyone has them, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. But whatever. Do you have a Dollar Tree? Yes, we do. Oh, you're saying for Mother's Day cards? Okay. No, I don't think it's gonna rain. It's just one really dark cloud. Yeah, but okay. So I'll do that stream later on this week, and we'll have some fun with that. And it'll probably be a little bit of overlap because I think I've talked about a few of them. Well, I've been doing other rankings, but we'll do an exclusively Christian one, and that'll be fun, and everyone will get ticked. There's a little part of me that's kind of but it's just, come on, we can be honest about what we think about other content creators, and have some fun poking at them, and poking fun. All right, here's the deal. I think a lot of people are on Christian YouTube who maybe shouldn't have the audience that they do, but they're trying real hard and they're trying to do the best that they can. And I respect that. I respect the grind of it. It's not easy. It's not easy to have a Christian YouTube channel, as I've talked about before. Granted, a lot of these guys have a far easier time on Christian YouTube than I do, because when I put in John MacArthur said this about something, I don't get the John MacArthur haters because they aren't constantly searching up John MacArthur. You know what I get? I get fanboys. And they're all ticked because I talked about the thing that John MacArthur said. So it's not the exact same, but they do get some of that pushback, and it's hard to do it. But so I respect the grind of it. I respect the entrepreneurship of it. But a lot of these guys need to work on their stuff. It's just come up with a logo. Come up with a logo. Have some fun. Maybe having bookshelves behind you isn't a great look. Have you read that book? I don't know. How are we supposed to know that? That's what I want. All right, that's the end of the stream. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been good checking in with you guys. I'll try to do it maybe Wednesday. Hey, things are going a lot better with my son with his diabetes and his numbers. We've done some things to change where he's at, and so it's going pretty well. So maybe evenings are back open. I need to end the stream before this umbrella takes out the camera. All right. Have a good one, guys. I will see you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies out there. Happy Mother's Day, mommies. Bye-bye.